Hey, what's up, guys? TCC here. I want to talk about my favorite modern set to collect right now. There's a number of sets I really like to collect, but over the last year, we saw a large decline in prices especially for modern cards. Vintage cards kind of held their price. Modern cards really crashed. And I want to talk to you guys about the modern set that I really like the most right now as sort of like a store of value for your money, but maybe also as an investment on an item that might grow in price. And it is Burning Shadows. So I came to this conclusion after doing a lot of research. Now I want to mention something as we begin. I don't know if the Charizard himself is actually such a great purchase. He is probably correctly priced at about $2,400, $2,500, and he really hasn't fallen down from there. I mean, there's a population of about 754 of him. I just looked up the populations, by the way, for all these, but his population is about 750, and so, you could even argue that 2,500 is kind of a high price on this card. Now, the reason you might be collecting Burning Shadows is because unlike all the other card sets that have been returning from PSA in the last year, the population for this particular card set basically hasn't moved. It hasn't changed. When you look at the population for Burning Shadows, not only do you see over a long period of time that the population has not even doubled, you also notice that when people send cards in general, they get PSA 9 as a grade. And there's a good reason for that. Burning Shadows, it has a cutting error on the back. Actually, I have some Burning Shadows. Hey, let's see if we can get lucky and pull like a full art out here. Who knows? I don't want to open a bunch of these. For the sake of the video, no. I'll do one more. Why not? Knockout. You guys have seen this. Most of you guys have seen this. I'll do 3. I know you guys like to see cards get open. So I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Might as well get an example. Oh, my Lord. Such a waste. I mean, these are better off sent off to grade as sealed packs, right? I said I didn't want to open a bunch of these, and here I am, just plowing through them. So Burning Shadows has a print run problem where the first print of these cards was printed just like normal, and then some large number of the rest of the print runs, something went terribly wrong. Wow, I'm opening like 10 of these. Are you kidding me? Jesus. I just wanted like 1 GX or so. Oh my God, I only got 2 left, guys. It's gonna epic fail if we don't pull something. Okay, last pack. Holy Jesus. Oh my God. I swear to God, opening packs is such a loss, guys. Woo! Burning Shadows. That was like 10 packs all cold. Of course, those came out of promo packs, so that was probably why. You know how promo packs are. When you're opening a booster box of something, usually the RNG machine says, 5 packs have gone by, toss them a hit. 5 packs have gone by, toss them a hit. When you open from promo boxes, it's nothing like that. I'm assuming the promo boxes, they can come from all over the place. I tend to buy them all up and put them into one spot. And then when I open them, it's not like the sorting machine knew which box came from where. So unfortunately, you just saw 10 empty packs of Burning Shadows come by. Unfortunate for me also. What a loss. But, in a nice way, I guess I swept those cold packs out of your guys' way. But I don't really sell very many Burning Shadows boosters. You guys know that. Burning Shadows boosters have never really been for sale on my card opening channel because I already know about the cutting error. And unfortunately, I have no example to show you right now. But basically, if you flip the card around the edge of the card, it would look like it's perforated. It's kind of sticking up. The edge would be all jagged and gross. There'd be little white dots all over the place. So I'm assuming because of that, a lot of people just don't send their Burning Shadows off to grade at all. I mean, why would you spend the money? Why would you invest the money on a grade that's going to come back 9? So a lot of people have gotten pretty good at looking at their own cards and saying, this will probably get a 9. And I don't think a lot of people send Burning Shadows in at all because of that. And then the people who do send them in, they end up with 9 anyways. So yes, you look at the populations on Burning Shadows, it's still coming back 9. Here's a lovely Charizard GX. He's actually pretty high pop at 586. So the Charizards, after the first print waves came out, those actually got graded, 754 and 586. There's quite a few of these, and they're about appropriately priced. I would not say you're getting a bargain on these. It's these other cards in the set I'm especially interested in. You will note that this lovely-looking Gardevoir is only pop 57, and that's up from 56, and I got this a little while ago. So the fact that it's only moved by 1 is kind of shocking. Here is a Darkrai, and he went from 42 to 49. And I got this a long time ago, so this Darkrai has been in my collection for a while. I think I have 2 Darkrai's, do I? Well, I think I have a Darkrai on the way. What I just did was I just bought up some Burning Shadows. Here is a Necrozma. He's gone from 37 to 39. It says I paid $78 for him. Crazy. Another Necrozma, 39. All right, I just marked him today. Golisopod. I'm not a Golisopod fan, but he went from 53 to 54. And I bought him a while ago. Here's Noivern up by 4, but that's it. Only up by 4. Here's a Salazzle. Now, I have one of these for sale in the Gem Mint channel as of this video. Only 40 of these. Quite rare. Alolan Muck. Now, I bought this one a real long time ago. I know I did. I even know who I bought it from. I bought it from, what does he call himself? Oh, shoot, I can't remember his name. He was a big Pokemon card seller. Actually, I haven't seen his listings in a while. What is his name? Oh, I can't remember. So this Alolan Muck, I begrudgingly bought it for a much higher price than I thought I should pay, but I bought it anyways. And it's only gone up by 2 since then. And that would have been like, I think over a year ago I bought this. So while all these other sets have had massive PSA population explosions, you can see Burning Shadows has barely changed. I think probably what happened is that first wave of Burning Shadows came out. If you pulled the Charizard, you graded the Charizard, you didn't really bother grading anything else. It went to a folder, and now it's been in a folder. You know, once cards go in a folder, unless you've got them really specially protected, it's already a big risk that that card is not going to do very well. And then, you know, people just sold the cards raw. Remember, this was 2017, so Pokemon collecting was not quite as big in 2017. I mean, people were doing it, but they weren't taking it seriously and investing money into it. So, yeah, they probably just graded their Charizards and they were done. And there could probably be some Burning Shadows still sitting around in a folder somewhere, but my guess is that a lot of them have now taken damage. It's not good to leave stuff in a folder. Here's a Lycanroc with the Pop 53, almost none of them. So, and what we really notice is that with the other sets, you just don't see that. With the other modern sets, you see their populations exploding. Actually, these are great examples. So I think these are actually a finer part of the collection. You've got Wick over here. We jokingly call her Thick Wick for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. And here's Acerola. She's pretty cute. She likes Mimikyu, so she's a great character as well. And yeah, we take a look at the pops, and Acerola is only 66. It's a Waifu card, right? And then Wick, same deal, 77 Waifu card. The populations on these are quite low. I'm not even a fan of girl cards. You guys know that. I've always said I don't like girl cards. I just like the Pokemon. But I can't deny anymore that other people will spend a lot of money on the girl cards. You know, I've seen it too many times, and so I'm taking them a lot more seriously and collecting them more seriously. So, but yeah, you see these, and they're just low population. There's Plumeria in the set, too. She doesn't seem to be quite as popular, so I haven't picked her up. I'm not too worried about Plumeria. But take a look at this. We also have the energy cards here. It's like the best energy cards, too. You've got Fairy was no longer in Sword and Shield, right? So Sword and Shield removed the Fairy energy, and so this would be the rare Fairy energy to collect from the Sun and Moon era. And it looks like it went from Pop 50 to Pop 58. Now, these were probably some of the first Burning Shadows cards that I collected. So the energy cards, I just thought they looked cool, and I had the energy cards from the other sets. The same deal here, like 45 to 54. I think the Fire Energy is the actual oldest card I've held from Burning Shadows. From 67 to 83, didn't even double. Pretty low pop, man. Really not that many at all. I want to give you an example of how low pop these are. So Acerola and Wick, they're sub 100. To put that in perspective, there's a lot of vintage cards that have a much higher population than these. And I can't imagine that these weren't graded out of lack of interest. Again, the girl cards do very well. And when you look up Marnie from Sword and Shield base set, and I know Marnie's more of a main character and people really like, people really like Marnie. You look up Marnie from Sword and Shield base set, and she's been graded like 450 times. 450 times. And so, yeah, it's kind of fascinating. So this set, the Burning Shadows set, is getting my vote as probably the most investable Sun and Moon era collection right now. A lot of the collections from Sun and Moon era have really not done as well over time. Disappointingly, one of them was Shining Legends, although I still recommend that you pick the Shining Legends collection up. Now might even be the best time to pick it up. When you take a look at Shining Legends, it turned out there was a lot more of it than we realized. Everyone bought up their clearance Shining Legends off of the shelves at Walmart and opened them up and sent them off to grade. Here, take a look at the Charizard. So Charizard would have been probably like the second oldest card I bought in this collection. 653 when I started. 754, barely moved over time. Yeah, barely increased. So yes, Shining Legends moved a lot. The explosion on those cards really popped. It blew up. And now you can't really call those cards too rare. Like this Charizard's not that rare, but the demand will be so high for the Charizard that he can get away with the higher population. And that's why his price is so high at $2,500. Again, I could buy another one of these Charizards. I won't do it. $2,500 is kind of that breaking point where you don't really make any money on the purchase. You're just, he's in your collection, cool. Now you don't have $2,500. But actually, I think that these girl cards were a deal. I think that the girl cards probably make me money. I could probably flip them right now. Actually, I suspect that these would sell even in the $1,000 range if there were none available to purchase. And that's high. That's really when somebody will start feeling pain when they buy something. That's kind of how you know that the price is correct, is when somebody starts feeling pain when they buy it. And then they will only feel so much pain before they say, no, I'll go after a different card, you know what I mean? So that's kind of, yeah, I've got an intuitive sense of that over time. But yeah, it's interesting to watch. Shining Legends ended up having a lot more in the population, but Shining Legends is really not as bad as the real offender from the Sun and Moon era, and that would be Hidden Fates, which was an absolute disaster. They reprinted Hidden Fates so much that I couldn't hold on to any of my Hidden Fates. I eliminated it the moment I got wind of how bad it was going to be. And I eliminated my Hidden Fates quite early. So I managed to sell most of my Hidden Fate cards way before the big Hidden Fates crash. And it was a smart move. And it was associated with population. Population, guys, really matters. You can't ignore the population of a PSA 10 card. You do have to pay attention if you expect that card to go up in value over time. And if the population is rising too dramatically, the card will hold sort of like a base value. So I calculate the base value of a card as sort of like the price of, well, I'm not going to write it down here. Well, maybe I will. I like to make little examples. So the base price, I consider it sort of a combination of how much does it cost to obtain the card raw. The raw cost, okay, and then it's also the cost of grading. So grading always has a cost associated. For example, PSA is like $100 per card. And then there's actually a last calculation, and that is the likelihood of a 10. Likely 10. So it's kind of a combination of these three things. This is what's giving you your base price. So even when the population of, let's say, like a Champion's Path Charizard or Shining Fates Charizard, even when their population explodes to like 2,000 of them in the population, they're never really going to fall too far below the base price because, at some point when they fall too low, people will opt to purchase the already graded card rather than opening the sealed product. And that's what's going to protect the base price from dropping too far below. But when it does fall below the cost of opening the packs, paying for the grading yourself, and a certain percentage of the time receiving a 9, when it does fall below that, that's when it's to your benefit to just go buy a graded version of the card. And this is complicated because there is one thing that detracts from this sort of calculation, and that is the population that we are talking about. Population does cause the price to go up and down. And then when the population turns out to be really low, that's when you see these cards really shoot up in price. What's interesting to me is that I was obtaining cards like this Gardevoir for relatively cheap, in my opinion, when you compare it to the cost of a Burning Shadows booster box. So if a Burning Shadows booster box is about $300 to maybe $400, and I was obtaining the Gardevoir perhaps for, I don't remember what I paid. I think it was like $150 or something like that. That's actually below the cost of the booster box, and it graded 10, and the grading was paid for already. And then what am I collecting? I'm actually collecting a card that's pretty rare. Look at this. These two shimmer. The one in the middle does not shimmer. What is that with that? Weird. Look at how these shimmer, and then look at Lycanroc. He really doesn't. I guess for the Lycanroc, you have to tilt him further back. Interesting. But yeah, So I pay attention to this concept of the base price. I ask myself, as somebody who's pretty good at locating a card that appears to grade 10, you know, the raw value of the card plus the grading, and that, you know, you do have to calculate, some of your cards will come back 9. Even the best guys who've been doing this for a long time, I'm going to give myself as an example, but I also give TCA grading as TCA as an example. He'll buy a whatever, like a Charizard from a new set, and he'll pop it out and try to send it off to grade, and he'll get 9s and 8s as well. I think I saw just the other day that he had that problem. So it happens to everyone. You do have to consider likelihood of a 10 as part of your base price calculation. But yeah, so this is what I'm recommending to you guys if you're wanting to own some modern sets. Other than that, let me go back to recommending vintage. I think Japanese vintage, by the way, has, like everything else, fallen in price quite a bit. You can get some really lovely Japanese 10s for a pretty bargain price. In the meantime, Acerola and Wick would probably be 2 of my top choices from this collection, along with the Charizard, if only you could get a better price on the Charizard. But you can't, because everyone's holding on to their Charizard. All right? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more market analysis on these cards, let me know. Let me know in the comment section what you'd like me to talk about or what you'd like me to analyze. Have a nice night.